And so we have a new update in the Ann Widdecombe murder case. Suspiciously, I've got to say, on Friday, which is last night, 9:30, some new breaking news was released. We were told that the police will be reopening a case from April 2025. And the case being reopened was that of none other, the reform leader himself, Nigel Farage. Before I get into that, if you are, for whatever reason, not familiar with the Ann Widdecombe case, I'll briefly summarise it for you now. So Ann Widdecombe was unfortunately and allegedly murdered this year. There are still a lot of rumours circulating on the internet and a lot of stories. But from what we know so far, a Joshua Kerry, who is currently on remand in prison, again allegedly drove 200 to 300 miles to Ann Widdecombe's property, whereby there was an attempted burglary. At least that's what we're being told. Off the back of that, there is CCTV footage in Ann Widdecombe's home that shows this Joshua Kerry hitting Ann Widdecombe over the head 21 times with a hammer. Again, none of that makes sense. Somebody's travelled 200 to 300 miles to burgle what they thought would have been a random person. It happens to be Ann Widdecombe. And again, off the back of that, they've used absolutely horrendous and brutal force, not just once, but 21 times to hit Ann Widdecombe over the head with a hammer. So, look, none of that in its entirety makes sense. But what I'm going to tell you now opens up another door, and we enter a corridor of, again, something that kind of doesn't make any more sense. So, April 2025, Nigel Farage had reported an attempted, I have to say attempted again, burglary on his London property. Now again, it's reported that this case also had an aggravated element in the sense that something had been pushed through Nigel Farage's letterbox that was on fire. Fortunately, Nigel Farage survived this attempted burglary or attempted whatever else was about to happen that night. And the police, well, they just decided to close the case. They couldn't find the perpetrator, and so the case was closed. We're now in August 2026. The unfortunate death, alleged murder of Ann Widdecombe took place around, a month ago, 2 months ago? And the police, on a Friday at 9:30, decide to release this breaking news to suggest that they are linking and reopening the 2025 April case involving Nigel Farage to Ann Widdecombe's investigation into her alleged murder. So what does this mean? Was it that in 2025, the person that allegedly killed Ann Widdecombe, Joshua Kerry, who's currently on remand, was he the person that attended Nigel Farage's London property in April 2025? Because I'm going to be absolutely honest, none of this is making sense. Both of them have massively aggravated elements, one of which, again, unfortunately, caused the passing of Ann Widdecombe. So if it was Joshua Kerry, would we have potentially in 2025 April have been looking at the death of Nigel Farage? There is just so many questions. Another question to be asked. I'm pretty sure that I've read as well that Nigel Farage does not get any governmental security. And again, I want to keep politics out of this as much as possible. However, elements of politics is going to drip through because Nigel Farage is the reform leader, and of course Ann Widdecombe played a big part in politics also. So suggestions could be made that there could be a particular group of people that have gone after Nigel Farage and Ann Widdecombe between the years of 2025 up until Ann Widdecombe's death in July, I think, 2026. Again, speculations are that that could be the case. So let's begin with the release time of this news. 9:30 on a Friday night. Let's just take this into account because on a Friday night, let's just say most of the UK are either watching family films, they'll be out and about, maybe clubs, pubs, restaurants. Not many people, let's just say, on a Friday evening are watching the news. Not just that, this news, which I think is really important into the case of Ann Widdecombe, came with a set of other news. So it could be suggested that this breaking news involving Ann Widdecombe could have been hidden to a degree as it was just chucked in there. So what had happened, you're watching the news, the Ann Widdecombe breaking news happened, and then within 2 to 5 minutes, we've moved on, there's other news. It's almost like it's been brushed over, they're trying to forget about it, and they're trying to cover it up with the other news on Friday evening. And let's face it, since Ann Widdecombe's death, nobody is talking about it. It's almost like nobody wants to uncover the actual truth of this case. There's just so many questions to be asked, and quite frankly, we don't seem to be getting the answers. And so it's going to be interesting to watch this as it seemingly will unfold over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. Now, of course, Joshua Kerry is due to attend court, I think, in October, and then he's got his plea in November. And with this new breaking news that was released on Friday, I suspect that by Monday morning, a few big companies such as BBC and ITV might possibly be reporting on it. So hopefully we find out a bit more. Anyway, what's important? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel.